50 years ago, world leaders gathered at a conference that, for the first time in history, put the environment front and center on the international stage.
In Stockholm in 1972, world leaders agreed to a landmark declaration saying that environmental protection is vital for economic growth and for the well-being of people everywhere. And this in turn led to the formation of the United Nations Environment Programme, so that our natural environment wouldn't just be there for the current generation, but for those still to come.
In the half-century since this happened, we've seen a lot of progress.
One key step forward was the development of several multilateral environmental conventions, such as on climate change, biodiversity, and desertification. These treaties underpin global action on lowering greenhouse gas emissions, adapting to a changing climate, protecting biodiversity, and tackling land degradation.
At the 1992 Rio Earth Summit, the Climate and Biodiversity Conventions opened for signature, while governments also called for negotiations for a new convention on desertification.
And in the lead up to this, we saw the creation of the International Institute for Sustainable Development, which filled a critical gap, giving policymakers the knowledge to act.
I want to announce today that Canada will establish a centre which will promote internationally the concept of environmentally sustainable development.
A few years later, momentum took off.
In 1995, when the World Trade Organization first opened its doors, its founding agreement named sustainable development as a key objective and formed a dedicated committee focused on the trade-environment nexus. This work continues today.
And just recently, in 2022, environment ministers from across the globe announced they would negotiate a legally binding deal to tackle plastic pollution.
This agreement proved that multilateral collaboration in difficult times is achievable. The agreement has direct implications for the health of the planet, including the ocean, which is already facing multiple threats, from climate change to the loss of crucial biodiversity.
Amidst all this progress, there have been setbacks, but these have taught us valuable lessons. The design flaws in 1997's Kyoto Protocol led to a more airtight Paris Agreement on climate change in 2015. And the 8 Millennium Development Goals faltering sparked policymakers to dig deeper when crafting the more comprehensive, ambitious set of 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
A lot has happened in those 50 years.
We've definitely come a long way.
But now that we're in the decade of action, we will need ambition and progress on a scale like never before to make sure promises are followed by action.
The good news is we have the knowledge to act, and we're developing better solutions every day to tackle our most urgent challenges.
And we already have a dedicated community of experts and innovators, all working together to create a world where people and the planet thrive. The change we need is within our reach.
But we have a narrow window of opportunity to make it happen.
To protect our future, we need to act now. And if there's one lesson we've learned in half a century, it's that every step forward counts.